Manny Ramirez Brown joins us right now as we continue on the program. And man, Ram, I wanted to talk. You in Seattle.
Yes, sir.
You're a designated Seattle apologist for the program. And I got to ask you, what is the amount of pressure like on the Seattle Seahawks going into this season? I mean, knocking on the door last year. I'm I can hear the thunder, the bangs on the door right now in terms of getting to the Super Bowl. But what do you make of them at this point in camp?
Well, not knocking on the door. They kicked the door down. They won the Super Bowl last year. It's hard to knock on the door that you already went through, right? No, I think listen, there's any time that you win a Super Bowl and you're the defending Super Bowl champion, I think there's pressure, obviously, right? So there's definitely like that pressure of like, okay, coming back, being the team that I think everybody was the hype is real out here. Like everybody is expecting this team maybe not to get back to the Super Bowl, but at the very least make another deep run in January into February, right? And so that is a lot of pressure with that. And I think there also is pressure on this team because last year there was a little bit of like, I don't want to say catching lightning in a bottle. That's not the wrong, that's the wrong phrase, but I do think there was a little bit of an element of like catching people by surprise. Like they knew the Seahawks were good, but I don't think anybody expected them to be Super Bowl contending good. And I think that this year, you know how it goes. Now you're no longer the hunter. Now you're getting everybody's best shot. Now everybody's labeling the Seahawks again on their schedule. Like that's the team we got to beat. Now you have that pressure of being the hunted. So it's a very different very different seat to sit at on that table. But I still think that they're a really good team. They've got a really good coach. Their defense is still legit. They have some changes on the offensive side. They did lose Kenneth Walker, so they're gonna have to address that situation. Charbonnet, I think he's back from, or I think he should be back from the ACL at some point to start the year. So yeah, I think they're going to have some questions to answer on the running game because I think that is a big part of their game. But as long as Sam Darnold continues to be Sam Darnold that he was the last 2 or 3 years, and Jackson Smith and Jigba is a star,
He is.
yeah, I think that they're definitely going to be in the contention for coming out of the NFC.
Now, the hype in the West is certainly with the Rams. And you can understand why when they make the decisions and the talent personnel, certainly on the defensive side of the ball. And we're waiting to hear whether or not Aaron Donald is going to come back. You know what I mean? So put that into the mix. How concerned should the champs be about, another team that just about all the experts are predicting is going to win the Super Bowl, if not that division?
I mean, concerned. Yes, obviously, I think concern's a strong word. I think they're definitely paying attention to what's going on in LA. I mean, that is the only team that literally had Seattle dead to rights on a few occasions that year. I mean, you think about it. If that crazy game, I think it was in December last year.
It was.
With the 2 point conversion, like if that doesn't happen, maybe LA wins that game and they're the ones going to the Super
Mm-hmm.
Bowl and winning the Super Bowl, right? I mean, that's how close every matchup was between these three teams. And then we all know about the NFC Championship game. So I
Mm-hmm.
think Seattle's definitely paying attention to what's going on in LA. But I think if you're Seattle, I think you feel good like, hey, we went 2-1 against them last year. We beat them when it counts the most. Okay, they made it. They made a big addition. They might make another big addition. But so what? We're worried about what we're doing over here. And at the end of the day, the games are played on the field. They're not played in the offseason.
Point well taken, Manny. I want to also talk to you about the sleeping giant that could be San Francisco. I mean, you never can count them out in that division.
Of course not.
I think, however, in many cases, the front office gets in the way of the team, in
Really? You
terms
think
of
it's the
some of their
front office?
decisions. Yeah.
Wow.
Is there concern about them almost coming out of nowhere, or does Seattle fan think that they just
I mean, again, it's the same thing with the Rams, right? Like, concern would be a strong word. I think you respect. I think Seattle fans respect the Rams, and I think they respect the 49ers, right? They hate them, but they respect them, right? They know that these are teams that they have to compete against. The 49ers, I don't think they're as high as the Rams in the hierarchy, but I still think you have to respect the 49ers, right? Because they have that coach, they have that madman on the sidelines who makes lemonade out of I won't
lemons?
use the words, but lemonade out of lettuce, basically. But no, I think the 49ers are going to be in the running too. I mean, their defense is taking a step back, but it's still pretty good, and they've been able to kind of rebuild slowly that defensive unit throughout the last year. The issue is health. That's the biggest question with the 49ers, man. It's just every year it's the same thing. It's health. Are they going to be healthy enough? Are they going to be able to withstand the 17 game grind of the season? You almost like the 49ers better in the 6 or 7 games in the post, or less than that, but in the 4 or 5 games in the postseason than you do through a 17 game schedule. But yeah, I think that's the biggest issue with the 49ers, man. It's just health. I do think Debo will help that team and is going to be revitalized to be there. I know a lot of people were knocking that move, but I think Debo being back with the 49ers is perfect.
Yeah, and it worked out pretty well for those of us in DC as well, because he definitely wasn't Debo that we had seen in the past. He wasn't San Francisco 49ers Debo here.
Yeah, well,
But
the
then
quarterback was
again,
hurt too. The quarterback was
his
hurt too.
quarterback was hurt. So it would have been interesting. I think the injury and the person to me, as far as San Francisco is concerned, that you have to talk about has to be Christian McCaffrey. I mean,
Yeah.
he does
He's
it
the key.
all, man.
He's the
He's
key.
a
Yeah,
Swiss
he's the
Army
key.
knife, but he can't stay healthy. Do they need to, in your opinion, as somebody has to see them a couple times a year, right? Do they work him too much? Should they be almost like we talking baseball, a pitch count on how many touches he gets a game? I would max it at 20 because he catches the ball out of the
I,
backfield. He runs between the tackles,
yeah,
and he's got to get to the outside. As great an athlete as he is, I just don't think he's built for that.
I agree. I do. I agree. I agree with that, and I also agree with that with Kittle. I think Kittle's the under. I think he's their X factor. I think when Kittle plays and he's healthy, I think he takes that team to a whole nother level. But the issue with him, even more so than McCaffrey, he's just can't stay on the field. So I think Kittle falls into that discussion too. But to your point about Christian McCaffrey, yeah, I think he's so important to that team, and he's such a cog to what they do because he does do it all. That I do think that you have to kind of start thinking about maybe not necessarily have him on a pitch count per se, but trying to share the load a little bit. MT has played out a little bit, right? Where he doesn't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily have to do so much. And maybe putting that onus more so on the quarterback that you're paying $200 million to, and Brock Purdy. He's another one that was injured last year. So I had a couple bouts of injury last year. So I think having that situation where you're shifting it a little bit to maybe not necessarily having Brock Purdy do everything, but having a shared load of, okay, we're not going to put all of this emphasis on Christian McCaffrey. We know how good he is, but again, the goal is to keep him ready for the postseason and keep him and get him through 17 games, not run him out of gas by week 12.
Point well taken. And you're right. The 17 game schedule is murderer's row the last 5 games for the 49ers in particular, because you always look to them as a team who's sort of battling that war of attrition.
Yeah.
I
And
don't
there's
know
no
if I
breaks
can.
in that division. There's no
It's
break.
not.
Even
There are not.
Arizona. I mean, Arizona might be the worst team on paper in the division. Definitely in the division, and definitely and one of the worst teams in the league. But even Arizona, I mean, I've seen them give Seattle a run for their money. I've seen them battle LA. I've seen them give the 49ers fits. So Arizona's no longer a push. Is not a pushover either. So yeah, it's just no breaks in that division.
You think they got better? I guess they still do have Kyler Murray, huh?
No, they don't have Kyler Murray.
I
No, he's
thought,
done. He's
yeah.
in Minnesota. No, he's in
Okay,
Minnesota.
so
No,
with
they're
that being
completely
said,
rebuilding. They're rebuilding at that
yeah,
position. They're rebuilding at that position. They got the kid from Georgia there, who's apparently has played okay in preseason. But yeah, the Cardinals are playing for another day, but there's still no pushover. They're still. I guarantee you, they're going to give those 3 teams at the top a run for the money at some point this year.
so we project that Seattle, the Rams, and San Francisco are real contenders to win the division, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Who has the greatest upside in the postseason, though, in your opinion?
Ooh, that's a good question. Oh man, best upside in the postseason. I
Because
mean,
I'll help you out. I think it's the Rams because I think we get caught up in offense and it
yeah.
is sexy, but it's defense that still wins championships. So if I was going to pick somebody other than Seattle, it would be the Rams
Well, other than
because I'm
Seattle, then
banking
yeah,
on their
absolutely, I would say the
defense.
Rams. Yeah, no, if you're saying other than Seattle,
Yes,
yeah, I
I
would
am.
definitely say the Rams for sure. That goes. I think the Rams have more upside than the 49ers. I just don't. The 49ers health. Their defense is not what it used to be. And their offense still has some question marks. Yeah, again, I think they're still very good, but I don't put them on that level. I definitely think the Rams are have more upside than them. And then as far as the Rams and Seahawks, I mean, right now, today, August, whatever, you have to say Seattle. They're the defending Super Bowl champions. They beat the 49ers when it matters, right? They beat them twice last year, 2 times in a row, 2 all-time classics, but they beat them when it mattered most, right? So I think right now, today, as currently constructed,
Mhm.
I think you give the edge to Seattle. Now, this is why we play the games, right? Now, come ask me this question in 6 or 7 weeks. Now we may have a different answer.
That point well taken to that, but the anticipation is high, huh?
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely. I
yeah.
think again, I think this is clearly the best division in football. Um, if not the best, top two, right? So I think that you have three really good teams who all could legitimately make it to a Super Bowl. Like even the 49ers, I know we were just we were just saying like their upside is not as high as those other two. I still think the 49ers are a legit Super Bowl contender. Like if Brock Purdy stays healthy, if Christian McCaffrey, a lot of ifs, but if Brock Purdy stays healthy, Christian McCaffrey stays healthy, if they get anything out of Kittle coming off the torn Achilles, like and their defense takes another step with some of those young guys that they've been drafting and developing over the last couple of years, I definitely think the 49ers can get to a Super Bowl. Absolutely.
It's going to be an interesting race to watch because I think that Murderer's Row is a blessing and a curse for the West in the NFC, largely because there are no gimmies in that division anymore.
No.
And then there's the war of attrition as far as health is concerned. To me, I think that's the key factor in that whole division.
And I
Key
would say the
players.
NFC is tougher now too, right? The
Yeah,
NFC
it
it goes
is.
back and forth. Some people think the AFC, some people think the NFC. I would say right now it's probably the NFC. I mean, you got those three teams in the West. You got the North Division that's always tough, right? You could legitimately make the case for all four teams in the North. Um, and then you got the NFC East with the Cowboys and the Eagles. The Giants could be better. The Redskins could be, or the Commanders,
The
excuse me, could be
Commanders,
better.
but
Could be better.
there are
Like
those of us who are fans of the Redskins that will give you a pass on that.
again, no offenses to anybody. The Commanders,
No,
sorry, Ohab is die hard. But listen, I still think the NFC is tougher right now. I mean, there's a lot of teams in that NFC. That are just have a good opportunity to really compete. So yeah, it's gonna be a gauntlet. It's gonna be really a gauntlet.
it is. I can't wait for it to start really, and I think that is the key division, and we'll be tapping into your expertise throughout the course of the off season when we get to our baseball off season.
Exactly. Let's yeah. You mean the
Because
baseball off season of doom?
oh
The
man,
Judgment Day?
mm.
The T one
Oh,
thousands are coming.
hey, look, you laugh to keep from crying, my friend, because this time
Oh
next
my
year,
God. Well, listen.
hopefully,
Hey, if
hopefully we'll be reduced to just the WNBA, and we won't have all the stuff that's going
well,
on with their
right.
controversy, and they'll just
Well,
give us a new
well,
version of Summer Madness.
well, listen. Maybe with everything going on with the Dodgers right now, the LA Frogers, as some people are referring to them
Wow,
around certain parts of the internet. Maybe I don't know if that helps or hurts. The
man. Well,
CBA talks. We'll see.
the Dodgers and Mark Walter have definitely let's just say they stepped in something that doesn't smell good.
I will say this. This might be the year for them to get it done in because who knows what that franchise is going to look like next year or a year following.
If there is a next year,
I think there'll be a next
you
year.
know what I'm saying?
I know.
I hate to
I
be
know.
this way, but
I
there's
know. There
you
will
know
definitely be a next year.
the more people that I talk to, the more pessimistic that I get.
I think I know we ain't on this topic, but I think there'll be a lot of mudslinging. I think it'll get even worse as
It
when it
will.
comes to December. You know how this goes, OG. You've been around long enough to see these labor battles. It always gets ugly. It'll be a torrential downpour, but I think at the end you'll see sun break and everybody will come to their senses. It's too much money on the table.
And
There's
we'll have
way
an
too much money.
abbreviated schedule,
I don't even
like
think.
we've
I think
seen
it'll
it.
be similar to last time. I
I
think
do too.
we'll get right to the point, right down in March 1st, March 2nd, somewhere where like, hey, we got to make a decision, and I think that cooler heads will prevail. I just too much
So
money
you
on the
think
table.
that baseball is going to have it done before training? I mean, before spring training.
Not before spring training. I think they will miss some of spring. I think it'll be exactly like it was in 2022.
Okay.
We'll miss some games in spring training. We'll probably miss the first 7 or so games of the regular season. They'll have to probably do some doubleheaders to get the games in or something like that. But I think we will play a full 162. I think it'll be an abbreviated spring training. And I think we'll get it. I just think there's too much money. I think I think it'll get ugly. I think there'll be some mudslinging. I think there'll definitely be a lockout. I think there'll definitely be some back and forths. But I think at the end of the day, there's too much money on either side. And I don't see it. First of all, I don't see a cap happening because how do you institute it? Right? How do you institute a cap when you have Juan Soto making $800 million? You have Tarek Skubal about to sign maybe not a 10-year, $400 million contract, but he's definitely going to sign a 6-7 year contract north of $300 million. How do you institute a cap with that? And then the floor. So all these other teams, and that's the part I'm more worried about, right? Because the owners came back with this proposition about like we could do a floor. So okay, so y'all just told on yourselves. So y'all could have spent $150 million, but y'all just chose not to. Got it. So now what do you do with the Marlins and the Guardians and all these teams that are nowhere near 150 million?
Right.
Are they now all of a sudden going to start spending 60, 70 million dollars in an offseason? It's just not going to fly. It's not going to happen. It's just not.
Well, from your mouth to God's ears, my brother. I hope you are right.
I don't have a lot of power, OG. So hopefully these words resonate with somebody that listens, and maybe cooler heads will come to
well, he's always listening. Always.
Yes. He is,
so from your mouth to his ears.
He's listening. You're right.
And we shall save baseball.
He is. Oh, man.
Hey, thanks for hanging out with us, man. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Hey, we got more of what you came here for on the other side. It's OG Sports Rap on the network. Download the mobile app, Sports Rap Network. We all we got.